So this is the last episode that I'm gonna cover a little bit of safety, transport, season, weather, and then the cost traveling in the Greece. First of all, I'd like to touch base on a little bit of safety on the quad bike. For the people like myself, never ride a quad bike before, the gravity of a quad bike is slightly different than the cars or the bike. So when you turn, your gravity is leaning towards the direction of your turning, which means that if you do a really sharp turn, you are most likely gonna tip over. And when you tip over on a quad bike, the bike will be on top of you. Just be aware of that. Now, transport. Bus in Greece are relatively cheap, modern, and comfortable. They have extensive network. Major towns usually have a daily service to the nearest cities. Small towns will always have some daily service in a certain route. Big city like Athens will of course have many bus tours throughout the city. In terms of ferry, because it's got so many islands, the ferry service are almost access to all the islands. If you're gonna take ferry service, keep it within the same island chain, because each island chain are geographically linked with each other. That way you don't do any detours or travel twice. Airplane, big island like Santorini, Mykonos will have their own airport to link to the big city like Athens and any other city in Europe. The fare for the domestic route tend to be cheap. If you book your ticket separately, it will be even cheaper. Train network is limited in Greece. There are two types of train, the fast train and the regular train. And regular train means slow train. Slow train tend to stop at all the stations, whereas fast train only stop in a certain big cities. If you're traveling between the two biggest cities, Athens and Thessaloniki, then train is probably the fastest way. It takes just a little bit more than 4 hours, which is faster than bus or drive yourself. So self-driving, again, is the most flexible way, but the rental is not cheap. If you book accommodation at a restaurant with your rental car, then you can get a better deal. Just be in mind that in big cities and popular islands, it gets congested very much, especially in popular island like Santorini. Probably moped is good enough if you travel by yourself or with another person. Bear in mind that the Greece road fatality rate is one of the highest in Europe, and overtaking is the biggest cause. Bicycle is a good way to explore the cities, enjoy the experience of riding a bike. It's more of a fun because of a steep hill, narrow road. Sometimes you share the road with other vehicles. In terms of a traveling season, the high season is between June to August. You expect crowds, the price tend to be high, and it's summer, so it could get very hot. Shorter season are either April to May or September to October. That's when the weather is a bit softer and the crowd is not that crazy. Internal flights and ferries will reduce their schedules, as well as the restaurant and the hostels. Price is not gonna be as high as it was in the peak season. There are many available as well. The low season is between November to March, and that is in winter. A lot fewer travelers. The price of traveling is gonna be low as well. The cost for the restaurant and hotel will be slightly lower as well, but there aren't many hotels or restaurants open during this time. And some of the attractions are not gonna open during this time neither. The best time to travel Greece will be either May or October. It is just about the time when most of the attractions, restaurant, hotel are still open, and the people are slowly getting away, and also the price is not as crazy as the peak season. In the extreme case, you could expect the price to be 25% cheaper than the peak time, and that comes down to the cost. In average, it costs one person $139 per day. It's gonna cost about 8,300 for two person per month. In Santorini, daily budget is about $54. The accommodation is between $22 to $49 per night. The food is about $10 to $20 per meal, and of course, if you are going to Oya, everything is gonna be more expensive. Cooking yourself in Santorini The groceries probably gonna cost about plus or minus $50 per week. And a moped is gonna cost about $20 to $30 per day. A quad bike is about $30 to $40 per day. In mainland Greece, an off-season hotel is gonna cost between $30 to $50. A peak season hotel is gonna cost between $50 to $150 per night. A restaurant is gonna cost $22 to $33 per meal. An average ferry ride is about $39. You could save up to 25% if you book well in advance. And also if you choose slow ferry, it costs cheaper than a fast ferry. You could expect a free entry to many sites, even the ancient site in Athens, in the first Sunday of every month, except July and August. And I mentioned that if you book your itinerary flights separately, it's gonna cost cheaper than if you book them together. That's because they have those weird government subsidy, and that applies to if you book international flights as well. And this is it for the Greece travel guide. I think I've done about 5 or 6 travel guides so far. Definitely learning a lot, and those travel guides will be very helpful when I'm actually there. So hopefully it will be helpful for you as well. And I'll see you in Greece sometime. Ciao.